Oh. It's a second class. Nope. There we go. All right. See a few of you spooking around out there. What's new? What's exciting? What's going on? You guys hear me okay? Looks like everything's working. We get started in about 4 or 5 minutes here. You know what? Probably turn off the TV here. There we go. GME. What is GME? Going crazy. Is this a stock? Oh, GameStop. Yeah, it is. Yeah. At least I think that's GameStop. Yeah. GME. Yeah, look at this. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. No, I saw a story on that this morning. What it was like a Reddit group that was driving the stock, or at least that was the rumor. I know that there was a lot of short positions on that one, and there have been short positions on it for quite a while. So, because I know GameStop was having trouble. So, hey Harley, hey Cameron, how are you? AMC? Yeah, AMC does not surprise me. So, because like last fall, let me see. I think they took a beating last fall. So 6 months? Or yeah, there we go. Maybe it was the year. Oh no, oh my gosh, look at this. This is all the way back from early 2020. Yeah, so I remember when it went through like this slide here. And then, oh my gosh, yeah, you could have made a lot of money on that one. Hey Morgan, how are you? So, yeah, GameStop, that's GME, right? Yeah. Back when it was $20 a share. Holy crap! Yeah, that would have been a great investment. Yeah. Oh, well, actually, that wasn't that long ago. That was just it was like 2 weeks ago. So, good. I'm glad you got that, Harley. The place where you get that is here in the announcements. So it's right there. Just scroll all the way down, and that's the course code right there. Or it's also in the syllabus as well. So you can get it either place. But yeah, I don't know. I can't copy and paste this. You might be able to do it from the syllabus a little bit more easily because I think it's on the very first page of the syllabus. So, but yeah, no, GameStop, yeah, that would have been a good investment a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't have made it though because I didn't know what was going on. But I saw a couple stories that, yeah, there was like a Reddit group or something, or maybe it was the Robinhood crowd that was actually driving that. I'm not quite sure. But stocks are always kind of fun to watch. Yeah, no problem, Harley. You bet. I'm glad I got that sorted out. The bookstore was fast with that too. I sent them like an email through Amanda, the office admin at HSB, who's awesome. And it was fixed like within 20 minutes. So, I'm glad we could get that sorted out. Yeah. Yeah, Wall Street bets. Yeah. We could do... we can talk about that anytime. There was a short point in time in my life where I was a financial advisor for a little bit when I thought I was going to get out of transportation. I had just gotten my MBA, and I said, oh, let's go do something different, something a little bit more business-like. than managing a crew of guys at the airport, or I think that's where I was before I finished my MBA. I don't know, man. It kind of runs together now. But the lure of getting into stocks, and if you're going into finance in the future, it is a lot of fun. The whole Robinhood phenomenon is kind of, I don't know, as someone who was a financial advisor for a little while, it is a little bit scary because I see people like put money into things that are just absolutely ridiculous. But then, you always get this like buyer's remorse or lack of buyer's remorse afterwards where it's like, oh man, I wish I had bought Tesla, or something like that. Some of us did. So, but, the thing, like when you see a stock like GameStop pop or something like that, there's always this like regret that you didn't get on that. The thing to remember about investing is there's always a train that's leaving the station. And so as long as you can find one, yeah, it's FOMO, but at the same point in time, there's always a train leaving the station. And if you engage with the market in a way that, you feel a little bit more confident about what you're doing, you can usually pick out some of the trains that are leaving. I've missed a lot over the years, and so I've gotten a little bit better at picking some of the ones that's like, okay, is this going to be a thing in a little while? And honestly, you can't have regrets after that because I'm looking at GameStop now. Yeah, that's like what, 1,000% return right there. You're like, oh, I could have, increased my money by order of magnitude. But I wouldn't have put money in it because, quite honestly, like GameStop's one of those ones that's like, well, how do you compete in this market? Okay, so, you've got the Game Pass out there, which is a fantastic streaming deal, and then you have, direct distribution by the distributors now, and let alone Steam, all kinds of different things. And so, like, if I had done a market analysis on that, there's no way that I could have called that bump. So, you just can't feel bad about those. So, paper trading on TD Ameritrade, yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it's kind of fun to game some of those things out. But yeah, as soon as you can get a little bit of money put together and actually, go live on that one, it is kind of fun. That's interesting that you can't do it by the time you're 18. Because I started investing when I was 14. I actually had I think I was 16 when I started. I had a brokerage account with, who was it back then? I think it might have been Merrill Lynch or something like that. I had a guy that I worked with. His wife was a financial advisor at the time. She got me hooked up somehow. I don't know. Maybe they've changed that since the crash. Who knows? All right. Well, we can talk about stocks ad nauseum, but let's talk about stats. Yay! Sorry. So Harley and I were just talking about this. If you don't have access to Alex, the course code is up, and it's available through the bookstore now. So you can go if we're waiting on financial aid. Rather than using your own credit card to get into it, you can get them at the bookstore now. Just use the course code down here. After you purchase access, punch that one in there. Try and get that done this weekend. If you aren't able to get into it yet, you need to email me because ad drop is coming up on Monday. All right, and so if I don't see, I'll compare the class list to the Alex list, and if you're on the class list and not on the Alex list and have not been in touch with me, I got to drop you, okay? And so, fair warning for those of you out there who might still be in that boat. I was looking at the Alex code course, though, and I think most of the folks are in there, so, yeah, okay, that makes sense, Matt. But if you are in that second boat there where you are still registered in the course but not registered on Alex yet, that's going to be a problem if you haven't been in touch with me. So just fair warning on that one. Okay? All right, so today we're going to kill off our yellows. I think I only have one left. And then we'll start diving into some of these oranges. Looks like some of you are starting to chew through these. Of course, this is our course average, our class average right here, which is looking really good because it means that, a good chunk of you have been bumping into some of these orange ones. And the orange ones all deal with descriptive statistics, which is basically the first piece of actual statistics rather than, the math prep stuff that we're going to be doing. And so, I'll spend a little bit more time breaking these into individual topics. I don't have very many videos up on these. And so as I do the lectures here, I'm going to actually jump into those. But we're not going to push into them too far today because I can't remember how many are in there. So 19 topics. And we've got at least 2.5 weeks to cover them. And so let's see, that will be 4 or 5 sessions. So we'll probably only do 4 or 5 per session. Okay. And then we'll be able to push into the reds, which will take a little bit longer. We'll probably only do 2 or 3 of those per session. And then same thing with like some of these down here, but we don't have to worry about those just quite yet. We got quite a bit of time. And I do have videos up on all of these if I'm not mistaken. Usually because they're the ones that people have the most questions on. So, but that's okay. But again, today we'll do a couple of these. We'll finish off this yellow one and then do a couple of the orange ones here. And so if you have specific requests on any of the orange ones, punch them in there. I'll jump right to them if I can. And then we'll save at least a bit of time at the end of the class today for Q&A, general Q&A on any topics that you're having trouble with. We'll do at least 2, maybe 3 iterations of trivia today. So you need a topic. Go ahead and start throwing topics in there so that we can pick from them. General trivia is fine, but if you have something else, that's fine too. I'll see if I can find some questions on it pretty quick. But let's go ahead and dive into my account here if there's no other burning issues. What other burning issues? I haven't gotten word on whether or not we're coming back to class yet. My guess, back on campus yet. I haven't, I know that they've been putting off, or they did put off the decision until next week, if I'm not mistaken, but that was already kind of baked into the cake. And so, watch your email, all right? I'll watch mine too. If I hear something before you guys, I'll post something up there. But for right now, the plan is we'll just keep going like this, all right? If it's working for you, it seems to be working fairly well since some of you are doing absolutely great and you're rocketing way ahead, and I like to see that. All right, but if you're having a little bit of struggle with this, again, it's my goal in the class to get us some FaceTime if it's entirely possible, where we would still do at least one day, because the class is technically a hybrid class. We would do one day here on YouTube. Even if they let us back, we'll still always do one day on YouTube, and my plan is that one day will be Monday, and then if we can come back, we'll do it on Wednesday. But I haven't heard that that's the case, so we're just going to plan on meeting here on Wednesdays too, at least for now. All right. So anyway, let's. If there's no questions or anything like that, if you do have any questions, concerns, punch them in there. I'll address them as we go. But let's dive into my pie here, and see what work Alex is going to throw our way today. So I know we got at least one yellow left to do. Yep. So I have 17 of 18. So we only have one more of these. Let's see if Alex decides to give us that one. Nope. It gave us mean median mode. So let's go kill that yellow one off here real quick. X and Y intercepts of a line given the equation in standard form. I don't remember this one, so I might jack this one up a couple times. Let's check it out. So find both the x-intercept and the y-intercept given this equation of the line. Okay, this is the one where you have to set these to 0 and then plug in. So you're going to negate out one of these terms in order to figure it out. The thing that I jack up is I always screw up the wrong one, meaning that, so like in this one, if it's y, so if it's looking for the x-intercept, you have to set the y term to 0. And if you're looking for the y-intercept, you set the x term to 0. Okay, all right, let's see if I screw this one up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would totally still be live streaming. I hope that works, okay? It might just be one day a week, or we might have to figure out another way to do that. Because I don't know if we're in the lab, like I think I requested, it might be really hard to do that over YouTube. I'll think on it a little bit, but I don't think that they're going to let us come back right off the bat. So we'll just have to see on that one. But yes, I'll still definitely live stream, and you can do the class via live stream. We'll figure it out. All right, so no worries there. If the live stream is what you want, so I'm assuming that's why you asked that question. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, let's focus here, dude. So it was x-intercept. I set y term to 0, correct? All right, so this one's completely negated out. And so all we have to do is actually just calculate it, ignoring this y term and using the x term. And so it'd be 4.1x minus 2.8 equals 0. So we'd add 2.8, so we'd have 2.8 on the right-hand side, and we just divide that by 4.1. And so my x-intercept would be 0.68. How many decimal places? 2. Okay. All right. So I think so. So y-intercept, we set the x term to 0. Yes. And so we have 1.9y minus 2.8. So it'd be 2.8. So because we would add this, and so it would be on the left-hand or right-hand side, and divide that by 1.9. Oops. Don't jack that up. 1.9. And we get 1.47. Just 2 decimal places, right? All right, cool. Let's check it. All right, cool. In the yellows, this is the one that I always jack up just because I got a little touch of the dyslexia, and from time to time it's like, wait a minute, I set the y term to 0. We'll see. I gotta get 2 more of them right here before we get completely out of the woods. So x-intercept, set y term to 0, so 1.3x plus 1.7. So subtract 1.7 leaves me with negative 1.7 on the right hand side. Divide that by 1.3, gives me my x-intercept negative 1.31, 2 decimal places. Next one, y-intercept, set x term to 0, so I have negative 3.6y plus 1.7, so it's going to be negative 1.7 divided by negative 3.6. Negative divided, this one should come out positive, 3.6. Yeah, so it's going to be positive 0.47, right? Check. Yep. All right, cool. Yeah, there's a different way to enter that in the calculator. Let me see if I get another one like that. I think you have to put negatives on both of them. So in order to get the right sign, just remember whenever you divide a negative by a negative, you always get a positive. So same thing, you multiply a negative by a negative, you get a positive. If you mix them, you always get a negative, and of course, if it's positive across the board, it's always positive. So just a little review right there. All right, so x-intercept on this one, set our y term to 0, 1.9x plus 2.7, so we subtract 2.7, so we get negative 2.7 on the right-hand side, and subtract that by, divide that by 1.9 to isolate the x term right there, and we get negative 1.42. Got it. All right, and then y, set x to 0, so positive 2.8 plus 2.7, so we get negative 2.7 on the right-hand side, and then divide that by 2.8, so we're going to get negative 0.96. There we go, check. All right, cool beans. there is a problem down the road where this one like links into that. So, and you won't see it for a long time. All right, I think it's way deep in the blues. Okay, but actually, it has to do with regression. All right, but be very careful with this when you're actually using X and Y. All right, when you're graphing it out like this. All right, there are times where it's going to ask you for one, and it's only going to give the other, and you have to actually figure this out. All right, and so this problem does build to one way down the road. All right, just so you know. But there we go, suburb. Keep it up. Next, pie slice complete. Cool. Continue my path. Now, since I started with 0, all right, topics done, and I've done 19 now, I'm probably staring down the barrel of a knowledge check here pretty soon. Alex will automatically generate knowledge checks for you once you've learned so many topics. And remember, when you do those knowledge checks, they're not optional. You have to do them, okay? It will give you like a 24-hour window where it'll say like, okay, so you got a knowledge check coming up. You can continue to work in Alex for 24 hours at that point in time, but the next time you log into Alex, it'll force you to do the knowledge check before you go any further. The knowledge checks are very, very important because if you just skip them or if you blow them off, then those topics will be put in your review tab, all right, where it's mandatory review now, and you'll have to go in. And rather than having 5 bars on them like this, it'll have 3 bars, okay? But you are generating more work for yourself if you skip that knowledge check or just, fat finger it in to get through it, okay? So when you do get those, and you do the topics in there, they'll show up as mastered topics, and those are the ones that I give you points for. So remember, it's 5 points per mastery topic. All right, and see, look at this. It threw me into a blue way down here. So let's skip that, and let's go into our descriptive statistics. All right, so I already did a couple of these here and there. I think on Monday we talked about this one, weighted mean tabular data, and so let's just do that one here and kill it off here real quick. And so just remember with these tabula, with weighted mean, it's really important that we actually consider how much and how many of each one, all right, in order to figure out that weighted mean. And so to do that, all we have to do is take this number and divide it by that number, so 8 divided by 49, so 8 of 49, and then multiply that by whatever this is right here, okay, 6, all right, and then we're going to string all of these together, all right, so the next one is 14 out of 49, and arrow key over, multiply that by 7.75, and then add that together with this one, which will be 11 out of 49, and remember the 49 is just my sample size right there, okay, and multiply that by the actual measure, which is 975, and then let's do one more, 16 out of 49, and then multiply that by whatever its value is to 10.75, end parenthesis, bam, there we go. And so that gives us our weighted mean, all right, which is really, really important in data. Okay, so 2 decimal places. Yeah, it better be. It's dollars and cents right here. I mean, you can trade in fractionals. So anybody here buy some Bitcoin? It's all fractional, baby. Oh, see, I only had to do one of those. All right, cool beans. So that's that first one. Let's keep going. Let's find another orange one. If you have an orange one that you want me to do here, let me know because I'm going to knock a few of these out today. And then we will do a trivia question here in just about a minute. So let me do one more of these and we'll do trivia. I don't have any topics in there. Throw a topic in there. So what do you want me to do for trivia today? So let me know. Let's do pie charts. So pie charts are easy breezy. So here we go. Interpreting a pie chart. All right, so in this one, it's going to ask us to, do some calculations on this. I'm not going to read the description on this one. Let's just jump in there because almost all of you know how to do pie charts by this point in time. All right, I don't think this is the one where you kind of have to guess on them, but let's take a look. In a recent phone survey, people were asked to state their favorite type of television show. The pie chart below summarizes the response of those surveyed. So, of course, pie chart is proportional, and so this is the whole, and then which one of these slices is one of the proportion, so it's always out of 1. All right, Which category was chosen by approximately 1/3 of those surveyed? So 1/3, this is too small. That's too small. It's got to be this one, news. So there we go. So remember, half would be half the pie. So this one kind of looks like a third. Approximately what percentage of those surveyed chose documentary or sports? Documentary or sports. So 2 of these put together. So it's not quite a quarter, because a quarter would be this. So it's going to be a little bit less than a quarter. So I'm going to say about 20%. So, and then of 5% of those surveyed chose sports. If 5% of those surveyed chose sports, so this is 5%. Approximately what percentage chose documentaries? I'd say 3 sports slices would fit in there. So 15. Yeah, 30% is too much. 300%. Yeah, you know this one's wrong because it's always 100%, right? Cheese. We want to do cheese trivia? Okay. All right. Someone else better get another suggestion in there here real quick. Otherwise, we're doing cheese, I guess. So that one's going to be kind of hard to find questions on, but we'll give it a shot. So a pie chart below shows the annual budget for heavy equipment companies divided by department. Use the chart to answer the question, well, which department accounts for approximately 1/5? So 1/5 is about 20%. So this guy right here is about a quarter. This one, support, is smaller than that one. So I bet you it's this one. Although it might be sales too. But let's go and say support here, because that looks like about 20%. So this one's no, let's change that to sales. I bet you it's sales. Yeah, so this one might be like less than 20%. Approximately, we'd see, so you got to kind of guess on these a little bit. Approximately what percentage of the annual budget is used for support and media combined? So, yeah, that's probably about 20, 30. That's probably about 30%. It's about a third. So, video games, but I'm never going to argue against anything related to cheese. Okay, well, Morgan, I appreciate the effort there, but you're kind of, okay, everybody wants to do cheese. Well, actually, Matt, you're the one who suggested it. All right, I'm kind of leaning towards cheese. We'll find a cheese question, then maybe we'll switch to video games. All right. So anyway, here we go. Let's keep going. 5% of the annual budget is used for marketing. Approximately what percentage is used support? So this is marketing support. Probably 3 of those again. So yeah, it looks about right. It's not 30%. Yeah, here we go. Check. Oh, question B is incorrect. Approximately what percentage is used for support and media combined? I'll bet you this one, 30%? I don't know. I think that's pretty dang close. It's about a third. Yeah, let's try 20. So it's not 40. So here we go. Recheck. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you got to kind of eyeball these a little bit. 5th Street Shop. Not familiar. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Matt. Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's like my wife's got, the gluten-free, kind of thing going on. She actually was diagnosed with celiac, and so I always told myself that if I was diagnosed with celiac, I would kill myself with beer. The body is either going to submit or we're not going to make it. So the pie chart below shows the percentage of total revenue. Okay, all right, I need a break from this. Let's do trivia. All right, now I'm curious. We got to find some cheese trivia. All right, so okay, well, actually, the Google has quite a bit of questions on here. So let's see what we got. Let's see. No, this one's not giving me answers. So let's try this one. You're going to make me print it out, aren't you, jerks? Nope, not going to do this one. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Oh, these are like where cheese comes from questions. Okay, I like these. I can't pronounce that. So, let's see. I can't pronounce that. You all know where feta cheese comes from. Brick cheese comes from where? Where does brick cheese come from? What state? All right, so it's the United States, but brick cheese comes from where? I've never even heard of brick. Oh, okay, that's cool. Actually, this is a bad question. So, come to think of it, now that I think about it a little bit. So, but I already asked it. So, brick cheese. Brick cheese comes from where? So, yeah, it's Wisconsin. Yeah, come on, man. That one's easy. So, but that's okay. Ian, you got it. You were able to punch it in first. So, you win. All right, on that one. Maybe we'll ask a different cheese question coming up and then end with a video game. I got to find a better site than this one, though. Let's see. But you got it. So, free quiz for you. We'll have to find another one. Here's it. Okay, here we go. Oh wow, I never even heard of this one. All right, yeah, we'll do another cheese question here in a few minutes. Finally, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I'm not going to take it away from you. All right, speaking of finally, let's do pie charts here. So pie chart below shows percent, blah blah blah. Which category accounts for approximately 1/4? So 1/4 is a quarter. That's got to be textbooks. Here, approximately what percent of total revenue comes from nonfiction and textbooks? Nonfiction and textbooks. Well, if this is a quarter, that's probably 30%. That's probably a 5%er there. And then if revenue from nonfiction is 5%, okay, so it just answered that question for us. Of the total revenue, approximately what percent of the total revenue comes from paperbacks? Yeah, it's more than 2, so yeah, 15%. There we go, check. Pie charts are something that we actually use a lot in statistics because when we get down the road, there's a lot of things that we're going to be doing that are based upon proportions. In fact, a lot of times if you can change your data into a proportional set, it allows you to do a lot more, a lot different types of, more types of analyses. There we go on it. So what color was chosen by approximately 1/3 of the customers? Black. So more than a quarter, less than a half. Approximately what percentage chose other or white? Other or whites? It's probably another 30%. Yeah, let's go with 30. I might get burned on that one. Yeah, so that'd be half, so 40 would be about there. Yeah, I'm going to say 30. 6% chose pink. Approximately which percent chose blue? 6%, 18%. Yeah. Yep. All right. Cool. Dunzo. All right, I think there's only one more on pie charts here. Oh, there we go. It's going to give it to me right off the bat. Computations from pie charts. So just remember, this is proportional. So as long as you know the sample size on this one, all you have to do is take the sample size, multiply it by whatever the percentage in the pie chart is, and it gives you the answer for that individual piece. And so this one might ask it to you in a couple different ways, but let's just find out. Citizens choose a favorite pet. Pie chart shows below. If there are 140,000 citizens, how many chose snakes or birds? So snakes or birds. So snakes and birds. And remember, these are proportional, so you just add them together like that. So you get 34%. So 0.34 times however many there are in the community. 140,000 gives us 47,600 people like snakes or birds. So cats. Come on. More. Whoops. What did I jack up here? Chose snakes or birds. What did I screw up here? So 7 plus 21 is 28. Oh, maybe I fat fingered it. 28. So 0.28 times 140. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. I must have screwed something up there. Must have fat fingered something. 39,200. Recheck that. There we go. All right, cool. Next, let's see. Food, auto, and housing is 36,400. What is the total family income? So it's asking us to do this in a slightly different manner. And so food, auto, and housing. So in this one, you're going to divide it. So you're just going to use the opposite if you're actually trying to figure out what the total family income is. All right. And so because it's just giving us the proportion of these three combined. Okay, these three combined right here, 36,400. And so the first thing to do is to figure out these. 23 plus 21 plus 14 gives us 58. Okay, and so it's 36,400 divided by 0.58. So it's just the reverse order of operations there to give you the grand total. And so these should make sense. When I ask you one like this, you should always get a number that's larger than the proportion. The whole is always going to be larger than the proportion. Okay, and it should be relative to this. So this is 58%. This is a little bit more than half of that. And so that, you should be able to eyeball some of these after a little bit of time. Let's just put the whole thing in there just in case it gets picky on us. No. What did I do wrong? Probably jacked up some math again trying to do this too fast. So 23 plus 21 plus 14 gives me 58. And so it's 36,400 divided by 0.58. 62,758. Maybe it didn't want the decimals. Let's take a look. No. Ooh, what did I jack up here? Was I reading this question wrong? 21, 23. Oh. Yeah, I was reading it too fast. So you can take a look at it. And so I wasn't using the right categories. You dum-dum. Now I got to start all over. So it's your favorite pet. If there are 95, how many chose hamsters, snakes, or cats? So we add hamsters, which is 0.8, plus snakes, which is 0.1, plus cats, which is 0.25. Okay, 1.15. That's not correct. So we've got to do that again. Hamsters is 0.08. There we go. Snakes is 0.1, and cats is 0.25. There we go. 43% times the total 95,123. Bam. 40,850. Right? Check. All right, cool. So, yeah, all right. So, see, and this might happen to you and Alex sometimes where you're actually just rocking through these and you stop kind of like getting really careful about what you're doing. And so don't do that, because later on there are problems that are much more onerous than these that require very careful reading. And if you jack it up, you'll be like, what did I do wrong? You'll click the explanation and you'll see it, and then you'll turn right around and you'll do the next one right, and then you'll jack up the very next one. So be careful about that. All right, so choose which of 6 movie genres was their favorite. Pie chart below shows the distribution of students' answers. 1,800 students in college. How many chose action or comedy? So this one's exactly like the last one. So action or comedy, 0.8 plus, .08 plus 0.26 gives me 0.34. And then we're just going to multiply that by the total of this one. There we go. 6,290. Check. Gosh dang it, man. You guys are probably watching me do this. Action or comedy? How many chose action or comedy? So 0.08 plus 0.26, 0.34 times 18,500. 6290. What am I screwing up? Action. Oh, I'm looking at drama. See, Jesus. You guys are sitting there watching me do that too, aren't you? So I make the same mistakes you all do. So there we go. That 2 times 18,500. There we go. 3,700. Recheck. All right, yay! Now we're gonna do another one. And it's funny, when I look at your progress in Alex, I see a lot of you doing this exact same thing. So this one is those division ones again. Budgeted for engineering and support combined is $50,000. What is the total annual budget? Okay, so engineering is 20% and support is 20%. So we add those two together, and it is engineering and support. Okay, and then we just divide that by $50 million. 5123. Bam. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by. Okay, yeah, I was doing it backwards. 0.4. There we go. So $125 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Check. All right, cool. One more, and then we'll leave this topic in the dust here. So, all right, citizens, let's choose a favorite pet. See, you start getting the same one. We got 120,000. Cats, fish, or snakes. So cats, 0.24, fish, 0.14, snakes, .06. There we go. There's our total. Multiply that by 120,000 citizens, and there we go, 52,800. See, almost messed that up. There we go. Check. All right, good. Yay, finally, I agree. So even though that was a different thing that you were talking about there. All right, let's see. Venn diagrams. Yeah, these are probability problems. We're not going to do any of those, so unless you have any requests. Are there any more pie chart ones? No, we're done with pie charts. Won't see them again. So, and literally, you won't see those again in the class. All right. In some respects, you will see them probably in 360, and a couple of the article reviews in here, if you choose to do them, they do talk about proportions and improper use of pie charts. So, but they're pretty straightforward, they're pretty basic, and they shouldn't give you too much trouble. The one thing to always remember about a pie chart is very simple. It's just proportional, and so it's always part and whole. I see a lot of times people will use pie charts in situations where they're not talking about proportions. They just think it's a pie chart and it looks pretty. Okay, so just remember, a pie chart always illustrates proportion of the whole. Okay, and so as long as you keep that in mind, all right, you'll never misuse a pie chart in the future. All right, cool stuff. All right, let's do another cheese question here. And then we'll open it up to Q&A. So if you have a topic you're jammed up on, let me know. All right, any of them that you are jammed up on, you can punch it in there, and I will be absolutely happy to cover it here today. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if that's correct, though. Let's find one. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Huh. I've never heard of this. All right, let's try this one. So, this English cheese is also known as the king of cheeses. This English cheese is also known as the king of cheeses. I've heard of this, but I didn't know it was called that. All right, so here we go. So, which English cheese is referred to as the king of cheeses? So for a free quiz, so it's a chapter quiz. It's 5 questions you don't have to do. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, Ian, you only get 1 per day. That's the rule. You were Johnny on the spot with the Google there. Either that or you actually knew it. Matt, looks like you got it, buddy. So yep. So you've got the second entry there. Lexi, you're close. So and Fernando, same thing. You're close, but no. Looks like Matthew, you were the first one to get it after Ian there. So sorry, Ian, you only get 1 per day. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So that's so, especially if you pick the topic and if it's something kind of rando, and if you know a lot about it, you can't just like hog them all in one day. So, because I've done that in the past where it's like, oh, let's do baseball trivia. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. That's fairly broad topic, things like that. But then you have like some people, they don't have to Google it because that's just their thing. And so they get like 3 of them in a day. And it's like, well, no, that's not, yeah, you were close. That's absolutely, you were right on his tail there. So maybe the next one. So because Matt, you are disqualified from the next round as well now. So, and we'll do something cool. We'll do video games at the end. I'll come up with something. All right, so that we can come back to that one again later. But seriously, topic. He is on a roll today. He is on a roll. So topics. What topics are you working on? What are you jammed up on? All right, so here in stats. All right, so what's one that's been giving you a little bit of trouble? Punch it in there. I'll be happy to cover it here today. I know that there is one in here that some folks were having trouble with, and that's this guy right here, comparing means without calculations. We already did this one, but I did it in what is it? The teacher side, where I can't actually show you the answers on them. And so we can do this one, or we can move on to a different one here real quick. This is one that I get questions on quite often, just because it's a little bit confusing. So I'll dive into this one here, but if you have a topic posted in there, we've got 15 minutes here. And so I want to make sure that if you are jammed up on anything, we get to it. All right? So let me know, no matter how deep into the course curriculum it is. It's absolutely fine. But this one, when we're talking about measures of central tendency, mean, median, and mode, mean is the one that's probably the most commonly used. And so understanding what a mean is very, very important, because basically in all of inferential statistics, all we do is take a look at two different things. And that's like how the data is distributed, and that involves two statistics. One is mean, which is the peak of the data, and then of course, how wide it is, and that's standard deviation. We'll come to that one. And if you get a problem that looks like this one, but it's only got 3 boxes, that's the standard deviation one. That's a different way of calculating it. All right, with mean, we always look for the peak of the data, and of course, calculating the mean is really easy. All right, all you do is add up all the values in your distribution, your data set, okay, and then divide it by how many of them there are, okay, which is something you've probably been doing since like 6th grade. All right, so it's the average. It's exactly the same thing. All right. But this problem is good because it actually demonstrates what distributions actually are and what they look like, all right? And so every distribution has a number line, all right, on the bottom of it, and then these are just frequencies. These are counts of how many times that number occurs in the data set. And of course, the data set consists of a single variable in this case, which whatever this is. So for distribution of rapidity, each distribution made of 9 measurements. The measurement could be anything. It could be like, the number of dollars in your pocket, how many F's you've gotten over the course of your life. Okay, and so some people get 10, some people have 1. All right, whatever it is. All right, whatever variable is being measured in a data set, which we won't get to multiple variables for quite a while. All right, but in here we're just dealing with a single variable, and so this is very straightforward. This is the value of the variable, and this is how many times we've actually seen it. And so counting the mean is just adding up the values of each one of these divided by how many of them there are. So you can do this problem by doing those, because you have to put these in order, okay, or you can do it by count. All right, so because the mean, as we get more values on the right-hand side of the number line, the mean increases. If we get more values on the left-hand side of the number line, the mean decreases, of course. All right, and you can do the math on that one. But I think these are actually a little bit easier just to kind of eyeball. So let's jump in here and do one. Again, if you have a topic, post it up there so I can get to it. The way that I always do these is you just count from left to right, okay? And so, whichever ones has more boxes on the left-hand side, that's the lower value in the mean. And so that goes over here, okay? And so then you can just kind of do these in order this way, or you can work from right to left, all right? Whichever one has more boxes on the right-hand side, that one, of course, would go over here, all right? And they all have the same number of boxes, so that makes these fairly easy, all right? So this one right here, so we have a 3 and a 3. Neither of these have a 3, so these aren't the smallest means. These two are going to be the smallest means, so all we have to do is compare between these two, and we can answer this one and this one, all right? And so this one has a 3, this one has a 3, this one does not have a 4, this one does have a 4. So this one right here, okay, is bigger than this one. This one, C, is going to be our smallest one. This one here is going to be next, and now we just need to compare between these two. Pretty straightforward. So this one has a 5 and a 5, this one has a 5 and a 5, this one has a 6 and a 6, this one only has one 6, so this one is smaller than that one. And so B and D. There we go. Check. Ta-da! Those are that easy. Okay, so we'll do another one here. So just to kind of show you how it's done, and then we'll move on. So, all right, so this one here has a, so these are all the same. See, it's 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So the next column we're going to look at is 4, no 4, no 4, no 4. So the next column we're going to look at is 5. This one has 3, this one has 3, this one has 3. So this one here only has 2, so we know that one's our greatest value, all right? And so this one's going to kind of force us to work the other way. And so now let's just keep counting from right to left on these. And so this one has 3 5s, 3 5s, 3 5s. This one has a 7, this one has a 7, this one does not have a 7, so we know this one is greater than these two, and so this one is going to be next. Now we just need to compare these two. So these all had 7s, this one has an 8, this one does not have an 8, does not have an 8, does have a 9, does not have a 9, okay? And so this one, since it doesn't have a 9, this one's next, and then that leaves this one last. There we go. Let's just murder it off, shall we? So here we go. Let's see, starting left to right. I always start left to right just because that's the way that I read. And most people do. So this one, 2 3 or 2 3s. This one only has 1 3. All right, so this one's bigger than both of these. This one has no 3s, so this one's the biggest. And so this one's going to have the greatest mean. This one here is going to have the next one. And now we just need to compare these two to find the smallest one. Just make sure that once you bump into it one way or the other, you actually work in the right direction. Okay, and so I hope that makes sense. So now we just have to compare these two. So 3 3, 3 3, 6 6. 7 8, 7 8. This one has a 9. This one has a 9. This one has a 10. Does not have a 10. This one does. So this one is our smallest one. And then this one here is next. A check. Now, of course, the other way to do these is just go in the calculator and add them all up. It doesn't give you the calculator on these, but you know how to fix that. And so, like, if you wanted to find the actual means of these, it's really straightforward. You just add up the boxes. So this is a 3 and a 3, and so it'd be 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 3 11s, so plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12, and then divide that by how many there are. There are 9. And so that's the actual mean of this, all right? And so you could compare those mathematically if that works for you too. Some people, like, you can sit here and stare at these and just not get the counting method. That's absolutely fine, okay? You can absolutely do it this way too, all right? No problem. Even though the problem said comparing means without calculations, come on, man. You know, so how do you think we do it in the wild? Come on. It's absolutely fine. All right, I'm not getting any topic requests here, so what else? What do you got? So what are you jammed up on? What are you working on? Is there a problem that you spent a lot of time on that you'd like me to cover because you know other people are going to get jammed up on it? That's absolutely fine too. All right. Otherwise, we're going to move on. This is one that people get jammed up on quite a bit. We'll save that one for next week. And there's another one that once I think you do this one here, it unlocks, where you're going to be actually building histograms, all right, which are very, very important statistics, but we're going to save those for next week because they are a little bit lengthier problems, okay? Let's see. This one's not too bad either, but let's just go ahead and do mean, median, mode computations on these. These ones, they do give you the calculator, and so there are ways to make your life a lot easier on these. So mean, median, and mode, all right? These do get a little bit confusing because sometimes there are 0 modes, sometimes there's multiple modes, things like that. So let's just dive into this one. I do see a lot of people struggle with this one, so this is a good one to actually do real quick. And so this one, it's going to ask us for the median, all right? Median is the middle number, all right? And so when we order our numbers from left to right, smallest to greatest, okay, the median is the one smack dab in the middle, all right? Now, if you have an even number of numbers in your data set, or observations is what we call them in your data set, then the median doesn't actually exist in the data set, okay, because it's actually rests between two middle values, okay? And so it's not represented by an actual figure, an actual observation in your data. If it's an odd set, then yes, it is. Okay, that's important to remember. All right, especially when you get to things like box plots and stuff like that. All right, the mean, of course, we just did that one, and so you add up all the values divided by how many there are. That's always going to be your mean. And then modes. All right, mode is how many times is reoccurring observations in your data set. And so this one right here, I can tell you that it's got 2 modes. Nope, it's just got 1, so it's always the greatest value. Okay, so in this one, okay, let's just dive into this and explain this here. It's probably quicker to do it that way. So median, how do you figure out median? You click on your calculator, you click on this, you highlight your data here. Oh no, we got a new button here that says send data to calculator. Oh, they fixed this, thank God. So send data to calculator. Yes, I'll do that. All right. And so put it here in the calculator, and then you can click this sort button. The sort button is your best friend in the Alex calculator. All right, especially down the road. And so this one, we know that we have 10 days, and so our median is going to rest between day number 5 and day number 6. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so it rests right between these two, right there. Okay, so just count from both sides. Or once you get a little bit good at it, you can actually see, oh, hey, wait a minute, it's just actually between those two values. All right, and so you only have to count from one side. If it's an odd number, you just count up. All right, so anyway, it's between these two. So how do I get the number between those two? It's really easy. You just add them together and divide them by 2. So clear this out. 22 plus 11 equals that. Divided by 2 gives us 16.5. That's our median. Okay, mean, very straightforward. Send it to the calculator. All right, and then hit this sum button right here. Bam. Oh no, maybe you hit that sum button first and then send data. There you go. Okay, so you can just do sum. Usually there's an X bar button right here that calculates mean for you, but this one they're being a little sneaky on it and they don't want you to do that. All right, so you can get around it by hitting sum X and then hit that first, then hit send data to calculator, hit enter, and then divide that by how many there are, 10. So 17.7. That's our mean. Okay, and then how many modes? So that's how many times the same number occurs. Again, probably the safest way to do this is to send the data to the calculator and then sort it and then scroll through it to see how many recurring numbers there are. So we have 1, 2, 3 10s, 1, 2, 3 22s. So we have 2 modes that are 10 and 22. Now be careful, because look at this, 10, 10, 10, 20, 22. Okay, so we don't have any observations that occur twice. All right, so but if you had one that occurred 3 times and the one that occurred twice, it's always whichever one is greater is your mode, so it would be the one that occurs 3 times. In this case, we have 2 values that occur 3 times, so we have what's called bimodal data here, okay, meaning it has 2 modes, and then it's going to ask you what they are right there. Okay, check. Ta-da! Next, let's do another one. So what's the mean? So notice they flipped these around. The last one it asked us what median was first, and now it's asking us mean. Alex likes to do that from time to time, so just make sure you're doing the right thing. So to calculate the mean, we're going to do sum, send the data there, hit enter, and divide it by how many there are. There are 9, so 19.88. 19.9, round to 1 decimal place. Okay, what's the median? Same thing, send it to the calculator, sort it out. And we have 9, and so it's going to be our 5th value. All right, so think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side gets us 19. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and then that 5th value right there from either direction is 19, and so it's dead on. All right, that's whenever you have odd number in the value in the data set as your n, your sample size, n in sample size, same thing. Okay, it's always going to be that middle value, and it's going to be represented by an actual observation if you've got an odd n. Okay, how many modes does the data set have? Well, we've already got sorted calculator, so we got 1, 2, 3 15s. We got 1, 2, 3 27s. So we have 2 modes, 15 and 27. Hope that makes sense. There are reasons why we use all 3 of those. The most common one that we're going to use is mean, okay, because we can do the most statistical analyses using mean, although there are times where we use median. Oftentimes you will see in news reports and articles where they're talking about your median voter and your median income and stuff like that. That's not usually what we use unless you have very skewed data, okay, which will make more sense as the class kind of comes together. So just remember, we're at the very beginning of some of this stuff right here. So it's going to ask me for median, it's going to ask me for mean in that order. I'm going to do the mean question first just because it's a little bit easier in terms of the way that I'm going to do these. So we have 8 ratings, and so our mean is going to be 51.625. Clear that out, and now I'm going to put the data in the calculator and sort it, all right, to figure out that middle value in here, and then just leave that in here to figure out the modes. And so my middle value with 8 will be between number 4 and 5, so it's between these two, so it's 39 and 58. So I can't do that in my head very easily, so we're just going to clear that out. 39 plus 58 to get between those two, divide that by 2, 48.5. Some of you might be able to do that in your head, and that's awesome if you can. I'm just not quite there. And so let's sort this again to figure out our modes. You can have non-modal data, all right, which means that it has no mode. If you have one mode, it's technically called unimodal, all right. This one has 1, 2, 3 39s and 1, 2, 3 58s. So today Alex decided to give me 3 problems that kind of had the same mode in there. That's okay. So Sometimes you get lucky. All right. Any other questions? All right. We're going to do one more. All right. And if I don't get a request in here, then that's fine. But we will move on to some of these questions that are a little bit more difficult. All right. So I just did that one on calculating mean, median, and mode. The next one here is probably this one, making reasonable inferences. Oh, no, not that one. Where is it? This one, rejecting unreasonable claims based upon average statistics. If you do the previous problem where it asks you to calculate mean, median, and mode, this one here, okay, will make life a little bit that will make this one a little bit easier. Okay, because this one, like a lot of things in Alex, this is more of a logic problem, okay? And as a logic problem, you have to read these very, very carefully. This is one that I see people stumble on all the time. And so it's a great one to cover here at the last minute for the weekend in case you bump into it over the course of the weekend. So let's just jump in here. Now, this one's always going to ask you questions on median, or I mean mean, okay? So average statistics. All right, and you do have to think about what the mean is. The mean is not necessarily an actual observation in the data set. It's calculated. It's a statistic, okay? And at the same point in time, it only tells us so much, okay? It tells us that if we have a mean value, then we know that there's values that are less than on the left-hand side, and we know that there are values in the data set that are greater than that, or on the right-hand side. We don't know what those values are, okay? And so once you think about that in some respects, okay, it mean makes a lot more sense. All right, and so you can read this. All right, but I'm going to kind of give you the quick version of how to go through these here without making mistakes. All right, so weight loss clinic advised that last month its patients on average lost 8 pounds. All right, and so more than one of these statements can be true, so you just check the ones that are true. Okay. This one. This is one of those infamous none of the above. And yes, there are some questions in here where it'll be none of the above. All right, but last month, some of their patients lost at least 8 pounds. We know that's true, okay? Because if the average, the mean was 8 pounds, we know that there are values to the left and to the right of that. And so some people absolutely lost more than that, so they lost at least 8 pounds, okay? Last month, some of their patients lost exactly 8 pounds. Whatever you see exactly, no. So remember, mean is not represented in the data set, okay? So it's a calculated statistic. It is not an observation. I mean, you can have observations that fall exactly on the mean, okay, but mean itself is calculated, all right? Last month, all the patients lost less than 13 pounds. You have no idea where the end sets of this data are, so you cannot answer that, okay? We do not have the minimum or the maximum value in the data, so we can't tell you this, all right? 2 months ago, okay, so always watch for this question because they like to throw it in there. Notice the time frame on this one is last month, so we know nothing about 2 months ago. Never ever check this one when it actually doesn't line up with your data, okay? Which is a very common mistake that a lot of people out there in the wild make. So last month, fewer than half of their participants lost 8 pounds or less. We don't know that, okay? So remember, mean is a calculated statistic. We could have one outlier in the data that's way out there that's really skewing that mean away. So the median always represents the middle value, okay? And so when we talk about median, we know, okay, on the left-hand side, less than the median, that's where half the values are. On the right-hand side, greater than of the median, that's where half the values are. Mean has nothing to do with that, all right? In fact, it's very uncommon where you have your mean and your median line up exactly correctly. Okay, that'll be much more important. So the only one on here, that'll be much more important in the future, but the only one on here that we can actually check is that guy right there. So there we go. Check. Ta-da! Let's do a little bit more practice, and then we'll wrap it up with one last trivia question here. So here we go. Last year, at least one of their clients of profit made profit of exactly 8%. This is based upon mean, so we don't know anything about the exactly. It's calculated statistic. Last year, at least one of their clients made a profit of less than 14%. Well, yeah, okay. So, if the mean is 8%, and 14 is way up here, well, a lot of the values are going to be on the left-hand side of the mean. So, yeah, no, we know that one's true. And this year, some of their clients, so this is last year's data, we know nothing about this year, so can't check that one. Last year, all their clients made a profit of at least %. Can't check that because, quite honestly, we don't know that. There's probably there's definitely values below this 8%. So no. Last year, fewer than half of their clients. We don't know about half because we're not talking about mean or median here. We're talking about mean. Okay, so check. Ta-da. Yep, that was the only one. It's a little bit sneaky. All right, so watch out for that one. All right, and last but not least, here we go. More than one of these could be true. Last year, some of their clients had a starting salary of exactly $40,000. We don't know that because mean is calculated. Last year, the number of clients who had starting salary less was equal to. Nope, this isn't median. Okay, and so if it was median, then yes, everything on the right-hand side, the number of people on the right-hand side and the number of people on the left-hand side, greater than and less than, would be equal, but this is mean and not median. Last year, all of their clients had a starting salary of $40,000 and above. No. So think about it. It's a mean. It's the average value, meaning there has to be values below that and there have to be values above that. So no, of course that was. Last year, some of their clients had a starting salary of more than $30,000. Absolutely. This one has to be true. Okay, because $30,000 is below our mean. $37,000 is below our mean of $40,000. And if that's the mean, we know that there are values that are greater than that. So of course that one's true. 2 years ago, this is last year data. We know nothing about 2 years ago, so alas, this is the only one we can check. There you go. All right, I hope that helps with that problem. That one is quite confusing and can be very frustrating for some folks. All right, just remember there's certain things you watch out for. Watch out for the time frame. Watch out for this trigger word right here, exactly. That one's never going to be true. And then if you get these ones here where it says exactly is the number of clients. So remember, mean deals with values, not numbers. Okay, so the median is what actually fits in between, with having half the individuals in the sample on one side and half on the other side. That's median, not mean. Okay, hope that makes sense. Watch out for those three things in particular. There we go. All right, folks, I think we're good for the day, unless you have, any other last-minute questions, or I'll hang around here on the live stream for the last couple minutes if you have any questions you want to ask me after we're done. But let's do one last trivia question today, and I promised you to do at least one video game question, so that's what we're going to do. Matt, so this is something that I could riff off the top of my head if I really wanted to, but I'm going to be fair to you because I grew up in the day of video games that many of you have only heard of as myths and legends. So, but I could ask you. Oh man, I could pull back. I could reach back into the Wayback Machine and ask you something very, very esoteric that you'd have trouble. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to even Google one. I'm going to pull one off the top of my head here. All right. Let's see. How far back do I want to go? Try you. Okay, so you want a challenge, huh? All right. Let's see. What video game studio produced the original Civilization? What video game studio produced the original Civilization? Civ 1. So let's see if you can do this. So real quick. So no longer exists. Although, yeah, actually, I'm not going to say nothing. What studio produced the original Civilization? So I know this one off the top of my head. I can see the logo. I can see it spinning in the background. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. There you go. This is 1991 or 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Nah, I think it's 91. Yes! Good job, Matt. All right. No, Sid Meier was the guy who made it. But the studio itself was Micropose, MPS. All right, Matt, did I already give you one today? Yes, you got Stilton Cheese, And so, Jake, you get it today. Good job, buddy. Matt, you just couldn't resist. You had to jump in there and try and get it. So, but you got Stilton cheese. Super, I can't play weight. That's okay. So, yeah, no. Jake got it. Jake, you did it. It is Micropose. That is absolutely... There were several pubs. What do you mean by that? The original pub was by Micropose Studios, which was the company that was founded by Sid Meier and Bruce Shelley back in the day. And I remember playing... What was the game they made before that? I think it was the original Sid Meier's Pirates. And then before that, it was actually Railroad Tycoon, which was like 89. I played that game on my original, what was it? We had a Commodore Colt that had 2 floppy disk drives, didn't have a hard drive. So you had a boot disk, and you had a regular disk, and you had a boot disk, and you had a game disk. I'm going to shut up. You're making me feel old. But it was Micropose, and so Jake, I'm going to give it to you. So... Oh, yeah, no, I remember all those. Activision was the first one that made, I can't remember. Activision was the first one that made, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. So, anyway, yeah, now you... I play games all the time, man. So, yeah, no, I just finished Cyberpunk, like, last week. So, I was actually thinking about giving Red Dead 2 another playthrough here. Just because I'm kind of in the open world, like, mode at the moment. Yeah, no, I that's one of my many hobbies. So, which teaching affords me the opportunity to be able to do. Because back when I was a manager, management killed all of my hobbies. So nowadays I got tons of them. So, but yeah, no, we can do video games again at some point in time. But good job on you, Jake. That's a tough question, man. So, like, what are we up to? Like, huh? No, the bugs, those aren't bugs, man. I mean, I've seen buggy games. That one wasn't that bad, all right, compared to some of the other ones that I've seen. All right, I mean, I was running on PC through, I bought that one on Steam, yeah, so they got the full purchase price out of me. If I'd waited a week, it would have been cheaper, but, it was one of those things. Oh, yeah, I've played all the Fallouts, man, so I remember the old turn-based one, so, I didn't play 76, though. I don't like MMOs too much because I don't play well with others. So the exception to that would probably be Sea of Thieves. I hop on that every now and then, but I'm not there as much as I used to be. I don't tolerate griefing. Yeah, they are really good. And what was the other one that I was playing not too long ago? What's supposed to come out this year? I think we're supposed to get a new Dragon Age either this year or next year. I'll definitely play that one. So... Yeah, no, I have a buddy. He and I are kind of like wingmen when it comes to things like this. I mean, we spent 7 years together in the Call of Duty Army. We're both retired. So we put in our 20 and punched in our papers. So, but at the same point in time, Subnautica was a lot of fun. Yeah. I have a severe thalassophobic streak, though, so that game did definitely freak me out after a little while. So, but yeah, this is what I do after I'm done grading papers. I either do that or, I watch football, putz around in the yard. I have a wood shop, so I have tons of hobbies. I mean, guys who play video games and nothing but, there's a lot of other stuff out there, but, there's always room in my heart for that too. So anyway, all right, we're way over time here. You guys have a wonderful weekend. All right, if you do have any questions on anything in Alex between now and then, ping me. If you have requests. So if you're jammed up on a topic, and if it's one that I don't have a video up on already, I forgot to mention this before, but absolutely positively, just ping me. I'll get a video up if I have time on it. You know, most of them I try and keep them below 10 minutes, so it's not like they take that long to do. This one today, the couple topics that we covered here today, I'm going to chop those up and put those up as videos too, because I know I haven't put those up there. But at the same point in time, always feel free to make requests, and if there's a specific question that you're jammed up on, I'll usually get back to you pretty quick on that. All right, but from what I've seen so far and what all you guys are doing here, you're doing great in the course. Keep at it. All right, but at the same point in time, understand that don't slacken your pace. All right, if you're doing really well right now, because what will happen in the future is, you know, like, oh, this stuff is easy. Trust me, it's going to start getting harder for you the further you push into it. That's by design, all right, and I'm here for you every step of the way, okay? All right, so with that, in our little discussion here on video games, I enjoyed that. It's kind of fun. This is what we would do after class normally, so, you know, I'm glad we can do some of it here too. But you know, it's good to talk to you about that, and I hope I could help you with your stats today a little bit. Again, ping me if you need any help, all right? So, with that being said, enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be wonderful out there, despite the crap for the last 2 days. And you know, keep plugging on your stats, but at the same point in time, we got a lot of time. All right, and so don't get frustrated with it. All right, folks. That's all I got for you. So have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you all next time. See you then. Oh, and if you got a quiz today, email me. Let me know what you want. So definitely let me know what you want. You too, Lexi. Take care. You too, Morgan. So it's fun talking to you about that stuff. So we'll do it again. All right, we'll see y'all. Have a good one. See you, Aiden. There we go.